an 11-year partnership between Ford and the Hoonigan team with Ken Block has just fell apart today. I just finished watching the Hoonicorn's last ride on YouTube, and boy, it really hit right here. That's a car that I've come to love, and the idea that it's going away because of some corporate decision somewhere just doesn't sit well with me. And so I wanted to take to my channel and reach out to what little audience I have and talk about that. So if you haven't seen the Hoonicorn's last ride video, I'm going to include a link in the description. And if you don't know who the Hoonicorn or what the Hoonicorn is, you've been working too much. You need to slow down and take a moment to enjoy life. Take an extra moment to enjoy watching a car that is the most insane car ever built, ever, in my humble opinion. More links in the description for that. But for the rest of us who know exactly what the Hoonicorn is, today's news made it feel a little bit like Ford is being ran by the same executive team that we saw portrayed in the movie Ford versus Ferrari. If you haven't seen that movie, definitely check it out. It's a great watch. And for the purposes of this video, I want to emphasize that when I'm talking about the Ford executives portrayed in the movie Ford against Ferrari, spoiler alert, the executives in that movie were shown to us as people who were a little stiff, a lot stiff, and maybe had created a 100% no fun zone at Ford. On the other side of that coin was the partnership with the Hoonigan group, and Hoonigan is exactly the opposite. They are a 100% everything is about fun, and the Hoonicorn car specifically is a world famous Mustang that you have probably seen doing some amazing drifting throughout various road courses throughout the world. And here lately has created a new series called Hoonicorn versus the World, where this insane all-wheel drive 1400 horsepower Mustang races pretty much anything that wants to come out and give them a good race. And so far, the Hoonicorn has proven almost completely unbeatable without some sort of serious head start. At the time of this video, the Hoonigan channel has about 4 million subscribers, and within that channel there's a series called Hoonicorn versus the World, and that series is about a month old, has 11 videos total, and has 33.8 million views. And just to drive that home just a little harder, that averages out to be 1.1 million views a day. So at this point, if you don't 100% know what's going on, an 11-year partnership between Ford and the Hoonigan team with Ken Block has just fell apart today. No one's really saying why. All that we are being told is that the separation was agreeable, friendly, on good terms. It doesn't really say who initiated the split, but it does appear that that split was initiated by Ford just based off of some of the language, but that is speculation on my part. Ultimately, it doesn't really matter who initiated the split, but certainly if Ford is the one who made that decision, something about that just doesn't make sense to me as a car enthusiast. I see Ford ads all the time basically saying, hey, look at this Ford F-150, or, check out our Ranger or the Ford Edge. So obviously Ford is trying to reach an audience of people that they believe they can convince to buy their vehicles. And it's obvious that advertising works, otherwise companies wouldn't advertise. Having said that, there's something missing in ads. A 30-second ad just doesn't work as well as a 15-minute video that's been filmed and put together and posted on YouTube, because most people do not want to watch your ad. Having said that, 33.8 million people in 1 month went to YouTube and watched videos of your car outrunning everything that could be thrown at it. Even more people than that went on and watched your car do drifting throughout various cities throughout the world. And to beat all of that, they did it on purpose. Credit card companies, for example, are known to target college-age students. And we have 3 main reasons that they like to target those students. Reason number 1, college students will buy things that they do not need and then pay it back when they get their student loan money. Reason number 2, college students will buy things that they just don't need and then have their parents help them pay it back. But reason number 3, and probably the single most important reason, certainly for the purpose of this video, is that credit card companies know that college students, when they get their first credit card, they tend to develop brand loyalty toward that card and that bank, in some cases for their lifetime. Now, in case you're thinking, but Jason, Ford doesn't sell Hoonicorns, so what does it matter? you are 100% right. Ford does not sell Hoonicorns. But going back to the credit card example, people do fall in love with brands based off of opinions that they form fairly early in life. Oftentimes, they form these opinions without ever having any actual real experience with that brand. They just love that brand just because we love it. And I will almost guarantee you that there's a huge number of people out there who fell in love with Ford just because Ken Block did giant donuts around a giant donut in a car that was a Ford that was powered by a V6 EcoBoost. Playing the devil's advocate here, I know there are people who are going to say, but Jason, you just can't know that. And certainly that's true. The reality is we can't measure everything. We know how many people watched the Hoonicorn rip up the streets of Los Angeles on YouTube because there's a counter that tells you exactly how many it was. We know how many people like watching the Hoonicorn run up the Pikes Peak run because there's a counter on YouTube that tells us exactly how many people clicked like. But what we don't know is how many people watched those videos and at that moment decided that their dream car just might be a Ford. During this partnership, Ken Block and the Hoonigan team was doing for Ford exactly what Disturbed did for Simon & Garfunkel and The Sound of Silence. Unless you were of the right age or just one of those people who is just a music connoisseur, you probably never heard The Sound of Silence, and you may have never even heard of Simon & Garfunkel until Disturbed covered the song. After that cover, an entirely new audience was introduced to a song, and they learned just how powerful a song recorded in June of 1965 really was. Anyway, I'm not in charge at Ford, so my thoughts on this are worth practically nothing. But for what they're worth, this just feels like a bad move. I have been a lifelong General Motors guy, and even I have been finding myself looking a little more lovingly at the Fords, particularly the Mustangs, the GT500s, the older ones, the newer ones, all of them. I have to admit to myself that it is almost 100% because I have been watching the Hoonicorn series on YouTube. My doubts about EcoBoost engines have just been erased. I am being persuaded to like Ford as a brand because I have been watching right there along with 4 million other subscribers while Ken Block turns 4 tires into smoke. But I'm still skipping those 30-second ads.